Hello and welcome to The Fights Within. Your hosts Manuela and Samuel are here to encourage you to fight, regardless of obstacles you're facing. This year's show theme will focus on spiritual discipline, transforming your life while growing closer to God's beacon of light, while reaching your peak spirituality. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to The Fights Within.
Hello, welcome to The Fights Within. I am your host, Manuela. We have my co-host over there, Thais, and yes, Samuel is still gone. But we have the lovely Michelle Saxon.
Hello, family.
In the building tonight. I'm super excited because the next two shows will be focusing on what we're doing July 30th, which is our second annual Dear Woman Luncheon. And we are here for all the empowerment. And
Yes.
I love Michelle. Michelle and I have known each other for at least 2 years now, I believe. But her spirit is really what I love. She is, what you see is really what you get. There's no in between with Michelle. And so she has a beautiful, beautiful spirit. And not only that, she is part of Dear Woman this year. She's one of the panelists. So I'm
that's a
excited to have
blessing.
Michelle. So Michelle, tell us about yourself.
Hello, family. I'm Michelle Saxton. As Manuela mentioned, that I have been blessed to be a part of such dynamic forces and panelists. When she reached out to me, I was just like, what better opportunity?
Yes.
And it's for a great cause. Anything that's for a great cause and amongst great people,
Yes.
sign me up,
Yes.
right? Because 50s are now for peace,
Yes.
right?
Yes, 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 yes.
We're working in our peace and
Yes.
greatness.
Yes, yes, yes.
Absolutely.
And 40s.
Yes.
40s.
Yes.
We moving to
We
peace.
move
Yes.
into peace.
That's right.
Hallelujah.
Right.
And no more apologizing for our life
And absolutely.
or dimming it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's so good. That's so good because I've heard. Because my mom is 67, soon to be 68 this month in May, and she doesn't look it. My mom said that in your 50s, you start having that peace. You start not caring. You get into that space where, okay, that's your issue, not my issue.
Absolutely.
So you can speak a little bit about that, the
Yeah.
confidence you have in your 50s that you no longer, worried about what people have to say about your greatness.
Well, for so long, because I have always been the type of person, even when I was in my bondage, even when I was under the rocks myself, right? I can still, masked up and everything, can congratulate the next woman, can say, baby, things will be all right. Give them the encouragement when I couldn't myself. And now that God has allowed me to be in a place where some doors have opened,
That's good.
I feel like women, us particularly, and I hope it gets to a day that everybody just wake up and just say, we all can do it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's just my time, my season, and
That's
I'm
right.
I'm keeping in mind that it can be given and it can be taken away.
on,
But
right.
when I'm in it right now,
Come on now.
I'm not apologizing for where God has brought me.
That's
Because
it.
when I was under the rock, I supported still in my grief, anxieties, and depression.
Come on.
I was still able to offer that to other beautiful women who were doing things, right? So it's just our time. And I just ask you all, don't feel sad that it's your time. Don't be apologetic. Just enjoy the moment and the season that you're in.
That's why I love her. Okay, there you go. That is it right there. She
Yeah.
doesn't apologize for her
Yeah.
confidence. And I love your confidence because the thing is, we have to, as women, get to that place.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
to that place
Yeah.
where you can really genuinely celebrate your sister.
Yes.
And one thing, I talk to Thais about this all the time because she's one of my best friends, but really sister. We do such a good job of sabotaging each other.
Ooh.
We do such a good job of, if we have issues with each other, rather than fix it, we're good about just spinning the tail.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Turn
Spinning the
around.
tail, turning it around. Ooh, she did this, rather than go through the sauce and let's handle it as women. And so what happens is now we got these little cliques, and God didn't call us to be cliques. God
No.
called us to be
No.
kingdom women.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I have found out that there are some cliques, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And the thing about that, don't come to me telling me what the next person has done to you, because until they have done it to me, I'm still going to be that person, because I am what you give to me, you'll receive from me, right?
Awesome.
And even in your dysfunction of not being able to handle other people's greatness, you still know, once you view that, how to handle them accordingly from that point on, right?
That's true.
Go ahead, T. You want to add?
No, that's true. I feel like like once someone kind of shows you who they are, you gotta learn how you move differently, right? You're gonna maneuver around them differently, but that doesn't mean you walk on eggshells.
No,
You be
absolutely.
whoever you're supposed to be and be confident in that. And I think that is what most women struggle with. Right? That who I am, I mean, do your introspection, but ultimately you have a greatness, you have a purpose.
Yeah.
And if you can't walk and be in that around people, you need to change your circle, right?
Absolutely.
Like those people don't deserve to be in your space. And it's not that, Manuela said this on a previous show, it's not that you're better than anybody.
No,
You just got to know that if you're trying to go to whatever level you're going to, you got to start hanging around with people who are at that level or higher, because then you'll be the next. And then change your mindset, right? Because you can't stay in a dark place and then you want to be a star.
Yeah.
that's not going to happen.
That's not going to work like that.
Definitely. And go ahead. You want to go first?
No, I was just want to say for sure, when I keep saying we as women, because guess what? We are a dynamic force.
Come on.
Right?
Yes.
We some bad mama jammas
Yes,
in all
yes,
of
yes,
our
yes,
lives.
yes.
No matter if you got a crown on, whatever your status is,
Yeah.
you are a bad mama jamma, okay? And until you know that for yourself, right? You're going to have people that not particularly care that you are that thing, but they're going to care about that your struggle look different. Right. How even in her struggle, she's allowing things to go forward, right? And because you haven't opened yourself up to get the tools and the resources like I have, you continue to stay stuck in that thing and not look out the box and say, there's an out of passage that I can take, right? So until we know that as some powerful women, that we are powerful in our own right, and to want the help and the resources and be around other positive women, we're going to continue to be stuck in that thing.
Definitely. And Thais and I just did, for the month of March, for Women's Month, we did the Healing the Women Within. And I was transparent in that series, but God took it further, because I said, Lord, I know I'm in a season of going through. I've been going through since August 1st, the day after I finished doing a dynamic luncheon. To August 1st, God has had me in a season where I'm losing friends, I'm losing this, I'm losing that, strange season. However, what God is teaching me, because one thing about me, people who truly know me, I'll own my stuff. When I'm wrong, I'll own it. And I recently told T, I think that was last night, I said, I went and wrote down people's name that I said, Lord, is it me? What am I doing wrong? Is it me? Why am I repeating this? Or why is this hurting? Because a lot of times, we're quick to say it's the other person.
Right.
And won't own our stuff. So whenever I'm going through healing, God is trying to get me to the other side. I got to look at myself in the mirror. And so we as women, we have to get to a place where we say, okay, is it me?
Is it me? And be very honest with yourself.
Because if it is you, then we got to do the work. But if it is not you, then stop apologizing for who you are. Because like you just said, Michelle, you just said something very powerful. And that is, a lot of times, people see the blessings. But they don't know the tears behind the scenes. They don't see the struggle behind the scene. They don't know what it takes to walk every day and be Manuela. You want to be Manuela, you want to be Michelle, you want to be Thais, but you don't know what it costs us to be.
It comes with the cost.
It comes with the cost. And that's why I tell people, I don't envy. This is your glory. God gave you that. I don't envy because I don't know the tears. I don't know what it costs her to be her. I don't know what it costs Thais to be Thais on a regular 7 days a week. I know what it costs me. There are some days I want to quit. There are some days I'm looking for people to pat me in the back and I can't find anybody. You know what I mean? And God keeps giving me vision in the midst of going through it, and I got to keep going. And so as women, the only way you become great you got to own who you are.
Absolutely.
And don't detour.
No.
Go through the process.
You got to
because that's how you come out as gold.
Absolutely.
You want to add to that, Miss Crown?
Baby, you said all that was on my mind to say, but experience is a teacher.
Come on.
Right?
Lessons learned.
Experience are the teachers, but guess what? If your experiences aren't teaching you and you're going back experiencing the same thing, guess what? You cannot fault anybody.
No.
But yourself.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, because once you open up your heart, like I said, and open up your mind for the change, you just listen. I can go on all day. When I said, okay, God, I'm ready, the doors like open months after I'm saying yes to it, right?
Yeah.
So you have to have a made up mind.
Yeah.
You have to be true to yourself,
Come on,
right?
yep.
True to thine self.
Yes.
And put all the mask away.
Yep.
And if you're going to come out in the open, it's with hope that now you have come to a transparent place. Not tell the bits and parts you want to tell, because it's not even for you. It's to help somebody
Come on,
else,
Michelle.
right?
Yeah.
It's to help somebody else. So if you're in a position now that you want to be a motivational speaker, someone who has written a book, so, okay, don't let the bits and pieces that you want to keep. Because again, if we're going to be transparent, lay it all out on the table. One thing you don't want to be in a status like this, somebody Google you somewhere, and then all your crap come out because you decide you didn't want to lay it out on the line, right?
Yes.
You didn't want to put it out on paper.
Right.
Come on.
Right? So that's my advice for us who's climbing the ladder and moving and shaking like God has called us to do. Right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back. This is getting good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
We'll be right back. Hold that thought, Michelle.
Yes.
Welcome to the B12 store,
where a healthy life starts here.
We have one mission at Hip Hop Streets, and that's to inspire artists to go for their dreams. Our custom music app gives listeners the opportunity to discover new artists from across the globe.
Catch the latest interviews, listen and watch the dopest podcasts, and check out music videos from not just hip-hop, but from the many different genres we have on the Hip Hop Streets app.
Our free music app is available on your Android and Apple device. Join the movement.
The You Endure Original Tea Infuser Bottle is offering you a cool new way to brew your tea and infuse your fruit water. The double opening makes cleaning a snap. The removable stainless steel infusers make it simple for you to brew our healthy and exotic flavors. The bottles are BPA-free and double-wall designed for easy handling. The locking flip-top lids are also available for even more convenience. These leak-proof bottles make on-the-go drinking a snap. Try them with all of our premium organic tea flavors. You Endure. Live, love, be healthy.
We are her back. I hope you're enjoying this awesome conversation. And like I said, you see why, Michelle, I love Michelle.
I love May.
Because this is who she is. And I'm telling you, in person, this is, and you need people like that who are authentic, not giving you who they think, you know, fluff. Thank you.
Don't give us that.
So before we continue with that hot topic that we're talking about, I want her to tell us about Miss Texas.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea that this is
part of your journey.
Part of my journey. My daughter came to me one day, all nice and proud, around October of last year, and said, "Mom, I did a thing." And you know, that's what they're saying now. So like, well, what did you do? Because she does a lot of things. So I signed you up for Miss Texas Plus America. You did what? And I'm like, well, Bianca, why would you do that without consulting me first? Mom, you always on Facebook, as long as I can remember, showing that, you know, your plus size doesn't matter, love and embrace what, you know. And I'm like, oh my God, because that has been my, you know, to encourage plus size women. We already get it negative in the street, in life. Cosmo done told us we had to be a size 2 and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I just advise women, even if it's something that they don't like about self, find that great part that you do like about yourself. Enhance that. And guess what? You know, you can still be that beautiful. You're beautiful anyway, no matter what size you are. So she said, you always flying around Facebook anyway doing that. So I figured you could just put it to work. So
takes a daughter to do that.
Yeah, she tells me that 3 weeks later I did get a call and asked, could I represent Miss Humble, Texas? So I won Miss Humble, Texas, and then we had the pageant to compete against all the other Texas delegates, and I won Miss Texas, and I'm like, okay, I never thought this was going to be part of it. So coming up July the 2nd, I'm going to nationals.
That's
so
awesome.
There you have it.
Yay! Yeah. Well deserved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm loving it because guess what? People get it misconstrued that if you're entering a plus size pageant, that's giving you like a go ahead to continue to be fat, out of weight, or whatever. That's not even the case, right? Because I'm not scared of no gym. I get in a gym, you know, probably not consistently, but I'm not scared of no gym, right? So we have, and there have been a lot of people that didn't even know that a Miss Plus America even exists.
Oh my goodness.
So when I became one, they're like, really? Yes, we exist. And plus size are necessary for so long. People been thinking just the blue-eyed, you know, long hair, you know, that they are the only ones who exist, but that's not correct. So, and when I got into the pageant, I realized it's not even about the big earrings, fluffed up hair, and big puffy dresses. It's about the sisterhood. So, and it's not that all of us have it together there, but we are there when the other one doesn't have it together. We can help mend those pieces, right? So that's what I really found out I loved about the Plus America.
You want to go in? That's good. That's what I love.
Man, keep it real. I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's awesome though. I mean, as you were kind of going through this whole process, right? You're like, holy cow, I'm here, right?
Yeah.
So what was the moment you're like, okay, I'm really gonna have to make this happen? What was that moment for you?
When I got the call to say I was Miss Humble Plus America.
That's good.
So when I got the call to say I was Miss Humble Plus America, I say, I guess there's no turning back. I guess there's no turning back, and I'm so glad that I stuck it out, didn't give up, because not only did I not sign up for it as to be my journey, but this has become my journey. Because again, in another form or shape, form or fashion, it's allowing women of all ages, of all sizes, to know that you can do it too. Yeah.
And you carry your crown well, and like you said, Cosmo with the size 2, and it's showing, you know, plus size women you can have it all. You really
Absolutely.
can. As long as it's according to God's will for your life.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
According to God's will,
Yes.
right? Because we'll dig up something in a minute and say, God told me to do it. But if those relationships aren't there with God for him to tell you that, the devil could sound good too.
Oh, come on, Michelle. Tell it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The devil can sound good as well.
And that's so important because who knew your daughter, right, was the point of contact, and you won.
Right.
Now you're going to nationals.
Right.
You didn't know, but God already ordained that your child was going to be that point of contact.
Yeah.
You can't write a better story.
Yeah.
You can't write a better story. And I love in the before commercial, like you said, we as women, when you say yes to God, you don't know the roadmap, the where people. There are people mentioning Michelle's name right now, just waiting for you to enter the room. We don't know. It just requires us that obedience, your word.
Yes, very much
your
so.
obedience to God to say yes. Because then the doors begin to open.
Absolutely.
Doors, windows, heaven, everything.
Yes.
Cups overflowing.
Absolutely. But you just can't ask him.
If you're not ready.
Because when he give it to you, you must be ready to do the work.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
You must be ready to do the work.
And then also, too, not only be ready to do the work, understand that your path will not look like your friend's path or your sister's path. Because a lot of times we think our success has to match what we see.
Right.
You know, this person has 1,000 likes. This person has 1 million likes. No, that's their story.
Right. Yeah.
That ain't my story. That ain't God's story for you.
Right.
Sometimes, like us, the branding is slow.
Very.
1 likes, 2 likes, 3 likes.
And they're probably all our likes.
Right.
The thing is, no matter who likes it, it's the consistency of the thing.
That's what I was just about to say.
It's the consistency of the thing. I don't care if I'm not your flavor.
Say that again.
Because I know what God has called me to do and what I'm trying to portray to the world and who I'm trying to reach. So if it's not reaching you, guess what? You wasn't the one I'm supposed to.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Say that.
So you stay on the straight and narrow. You be obedient to God. And until God gets you off this train, you be the head of yours.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Because that's super, super important. And that's something that, you know, when I first started with the Fights Within, the first time he gave it to me was 2014, but fear kept me from doing it till 2019 was when I finally was like, okay, God, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And he already lined up who was supposed to be part of the journey. Some people, they're, you know, forever. Some are just seasonal. But you're supposed to take the tools that you got from that person, from that season, and keep it moving. And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And when it's God, like, man can't close no door that God has put his stamp name on it. Like, people do not understand. So you don't have, here's what I'm learning. You don't have to beg when it's God.
No.
Let me say that again. You don't have to beg when it's God.
That's huge.
Because the thing is, sometimes we try to hustle our way through life, trying to hustle our way through the vision and the gifts that God has placed in you. And so you're bringing people along that has nothing to do with the vision that God gave you. So they're stumping your growth because you're not trusting what God gave you.
Absolutely.
So the window cannot open and he can't pour that blessing because you're stumping your growth with the circles that don't belong in that season. So let's talk about our circles.
As mentioned, and I said as often as I can, we want to know who are part of our circle, right?
Yeah.
We want to know who's in our circle and why they're there.
Yeah.
And when I'm saying that, we can have all the people that we so used to being, whether they slobbing on our pillows at night, or whether they just in our midst every day because it's with hopes that they gain something because now you're in the spotlight. But you definitely want to know exactly why they are in your circle. So you need to, and then when you ask God for the discernment, how should I navigate through that? If he give you the answer that it's been the friend that you done been with 30 years, that's not the true friend that can accept where you're trying to go. you can still love them, but from afar.
Come on now.
Right?
Yes.
And sometimes we have to do process of elimination on our own to keep our peace, to keep us on the straight and narrow, to get to where God said, Manuela, it's time for you to go and to be. So that's what I would say about circles. Stop being so cliquish. If you're going to have your circle, know why they are even there.
Yep.
And be obedient and ask God for discernment to if they need to still be there.
Right.
Man, Ty, you want to add? Because I'm like jumping.
I mean, I think she touched on all the subjects. I think the other thing is what we have to not be afraid of is doing that review. Okay, who's here?
Yeah.
Why are you here? And then sometimes you gotta straight up ask them, why are you here? What are you looking for? And then they will tell you literally either they gonna stutter through it or they gonna give you something that sounds sweet but is not true. It's all vinegar. Or they're going to be honest and say, I'm here to support you no matter what you go through, right? We do have to do it. And the sad part is it's hard because you don't want to let go.
You don't.
But when God is calling you and saying, hey, I need you here. That person isn't there. You can't take that weight with you.
Yeah.
I'll deal with them separately. It's hard to say, okay, well, I'm going to do it. But when you do come to that place where you want to be obedient, it's a peace with that.
Absolutely.
Right? You'll cry along the way, but once you get there, the blessings on the other side outweighs everything in the past.
And before we go to commercial break, just know this. When men and women are removed from your life, it's not for you to get upset about that, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm learning now, my words are no, okay, bye-bye. Those are my words now.
Say it again, Michelle. Say it again.
No. Okay. Bye-bye. Because guess what? I'm not finna lose another sleep.
Oh.
Ounce of sleep.
I love her.
I'm not.
I love her. Listen, we got a part 2, but we got a part 2 next week. But get your Dear Woman ticket. Yes, part 2, we will talk a little bit about Dear Woman, but get your tickets on Eventbrite and support. But this this has to be a part 2, okay? So tune in next week for the finale of this deep Dear Woman conversation. So stay tuned for next week, part 2. We'll see you all back here on Wednesday
See you there, guys.
with our fabulous Michelle Saxon.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.